organizations kind of cope with the restructuring that they likely have done over the past year, that they will start to see that learning organizations are going to be the organizations that are the leaders of the future. And I think there's some research that the Boston Consulting Group has done on that really that's sort of the new advantage in this new environment that we're in, is that organizations that can learn faster are going to be the winners, so to speak. And so I do expect that we will start to see organizations focusing on that.
Great.
So here we are at the Talent Development Capability Model. Again, you can get here from the ATD website, td.org/capability model. This is something that's available to everyone. Anyone can come and explore the model, and anyone can use any of its features. You do not need to be an ATD member. The self-assessment feature that we're going to look at, you do need to have a website login, but that doesn't require membership. So just really quickly, here you can come in and actually explore, again, the 23 capability areas that are within the Talent Development Capability Model. And then you can actually just dive right in and start to take a look. And just a quick orientation, color-coded, we're in the organizational capability area. This capability has every capability has a definition. And then you can see the knowledge and skill statements included there. And you can really hop around the model itself, see what is included in each domain. And then when you're ready, you can dive into a specific capability area and see the knowledge and skills included. After you've had a chance to sort of explore what's included, you can go ahead and perform that self-assessment. And you just click on the self-assessment tab, and you're going to see a page that's set up very similarly. Definition of the capability area at the top with the knowledge and skill statements below. But you will see there is a rating scale here. And this is not a psychometrically designed assessment. It really is a personal barometer that you can use to kind of, again, take a temperature, so to speak, as to where your knowledge and skill set lies. At the top, you'll see there's this percentage, 0%, for building personal capability, and that's because I haven't performed any self-assessments in this domain. But over here on the right, you'll see the capability proficiency score for cultural awareness and inclusion. So you can go through and actually complete the self-assessment for yourself. I'll just kind of quick go through here. And what you will see is you now have a capability proficiency score for cultural awareness and inclusion. And you will see now you're starting to grow a capability score for this particular domain. So the idea is obviously that you go through all of these and complete that self-assessment. In the My Report page, it rolls it all up for you. You're able to see your proficiency scores for each of the domains, as well as an overall proficiency score. And then you can also see your proficiency scores in domain order. So again, you can get a sense of where your strengths and weaknesses lie, and so that you can have a sense of and decide what you'd like to focus your development on. The next piece of this feature, which we'll talk about at 1:30, is the ability to develop a personalized learning plan. We've curated ATD resources that you can connect directly to the capabilities that you are not as proficient at, so that you can help close those knowledge and skill gaps.
And just so you know, Morgan, you got about 5 minutes left.
And do we have any other questions at the moment? No.
One question we had from a few minutes ago is, ideally, how would you like to see business leaders describe a future-ready L&D team?
Oh, great question. I think a future-ready L&D team is one that has quite a few skills, tools in their toolbox around change management. And what's interesting is this self-assessment that we have, we've had almost 8,000 individuals complete that self-assessment. Change management is one of the capability areas that consistently is in the bottom 3. And so while we've been through all of this massive change lately, we apparently don't have super great change management skills. And I think we know that when we know that 70% of change management efforts fail. So for me, a group that's future ready is a group that has change management skills and understands how to take an organization through that successfully and can manage that, because I think that's the thing that's going to be permanent over the next several years. And I think it's also a team that has an eye out for understanding what the organization's goals are, and both short-term and slightly longer term, and really has an eye toward how are we building that talent pipeline, and how are we determining who's ready to be upskilled or who needs to be reskilled to kind of meet that organization's needs.
That's great. And then another question that has just come in is, how could you assess the maturity of the talent development function? Any key questions to ask?
That's a great question. And it's actually something I have some personal interest in, and I would love to see ATD develop a way to measure those things as well. But I think, you have to look at every organization's where they are, as you say, their maturity model. And I think it's one that wants to work with talent development and doesn't see it just as those training people over there, but is willing to bring talent development to the table to help them understand the full scope of an organization's goals and how they're going to pull talent into that to meet those goals.
All right. And I think the other piece of that question was, thinking through it as if you're interviewing with an organization. So I think, what you just talked about is great.
Right. Is how does their leadership incorporate talent development into their strategic planning, I guess, and how does leadership make sure that talent development fully understands the scope of their needs and where they're going. So again, that they can be ready to make sure that their talent pool within the organization can meet those needs.
Okay. And I know we are just about out of time. I did have there was one note that the capability model is asking for a login.
Mm-hmm. Right. So you just need a td.org login. So if you, I forget what you click on, I think you can create a profile, and that's just a free profile on the td.org website. That will allow you to save your self-assessment results. Right. And then eventually, if you develop a learning plan, it will allow you to save your learning plan.
Perfect. All right. Any other questions for Morgan before we leave her for just a little bit of time today? All right.
All right.
Not seeing anything yet, but I think this gives folks some food for thought before this afternoon's session, where you're going to share a little bit more about, okay, I've assessed myself. Now what do I do?
Right. How do I close those gaps? And we're going to talk about a couple of different ways to do that, but then also talk a little bit about how can you really deepen your catalog of examples of how you are certain about your strengths. So you have all of those ready for those interview questions and can have all that at your fingertips.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much, Morgan.
Well, thanks, everybody. And I hope you have a great rest of the day, and hopefully we'll see you back here this afternoon.
Yeah, great. Thanks.
Thanks.